meetings back.
Consent agenda.
The consent agenda.
Approval of minutes from April 21st.
Oh, well, no, we have council discussion, and then we have to.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay. That would be
Read it
great,
first.
but that's not.
Thought I'd read it first.
Okay, we're moving now down to the consent agenda. Council comments or questions on the consent agenda?
I would like to move Resolution 2014-135 to the regular agenda and Resolution 2014-142 to the regular agenda.
Okay. Any other council comments or questions on the consent agenda? Okay, open up the public comment on those items on the consent agenda. Close the public portion. Do I have a motion?
You have
Oh, we do have somebody?
a couple.
Oh, okay, we now have George, come on up. George had his hand up, I think, first. Yes, sir. I'm sorry, I didn't see you back here.
Yeah, George Doherty, Seashore Road.
Uh-huh.
I guess I bought something to bring to your attention about.
Yeah, you did. I gave it to the clerk.
Yeah, I just feel that we shouldn't use that, that website to.
If they're going to sell guns on there, but we did get a response from them that they are very careful.
It's a government website.
It's a government website.
It is, and they sell automatic weapons. That's strange.
Well, I mean, there's
police
weapons, so it's to other police departments or
Now
within.
it's to the general public.
Am I correct? I see Margaret in the back. All right, if you can, just come up front real quick. It'll take 1 second.
Well, just what I was going to ask is if we could do it maybe in-house. Could we do it on our website, the auction off stuff, and this way it.
What?
Yeah.
George, we don't auction off automatic weapons or any
No, I know that. I know that.
We do auction off at bars.
Why?
Instead of using their website and supporting that website,
Whose website should we use?
our own. Could we use our own? And
Well, this is
and get all
Gov Deals. It goes throughout the whole United States, and we get the best return back for obsolete equipment by doing that. But Margaret, who's our
would
emergency
you
agent,
just
can
step
respond to
out,
your
please,
question.
George?
I just had a question. If we could do it in-house, wouldn't it be better for us? But if
Well, we always try to get the best return. Margaret?
Margaret?
Hi. Yeah, after that comment last meeting, I did look into it, and they're based on a tier system, so they do have to have pre-qualified buyers, so gun dealers, police departments, that sort of thing are the only ones that are allowed to
They're vetted
purchase.
beforehand.
Yes,
Okay.
and it's a very restricted site.
Okay.
As far as the Gov Deals, it's a very wide audience, so we do get a lot more people that do purchase off of for our items, where we would be really limited if we had our own independent auction site. So we do have a lot more of a pool of people. We do get quite a big return on that, so.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Somebody else had their hand up before. Okay, Frank? Or Bob, rather. Speaking of, come on, will you? The ayes.
Robert
Have mercy
Rizzo
on me, Lord.
Nichols.
Go ahead, Bob, I'm sorry.
Give you a pair of glasses. I just wanted to question Resolution 2014-132 and 137. Are the prices the same as the last year, or they keep going up every year? How's that work?
The fireworks quote went up about $1,500 over last year.
Is that good or bad?
Well, it's bad when it goes up.
I know that.
But, we want to provide the same quality of fireworks as we've done in the past that all the people enjoy, not only the residents of Lower Township, but Lower Township's known to put out probably the best fireworks in the area.
Is that the same with 137?
It's 137,
Is
the Wizard?
No, that's the rides along.
Yeah,
the
that's
state
about the same.
that's the same?
Yeah.
But the fireworks price went up.
Yeah, and Norris and I believe Eric are going to be talking to people to raise that funding to defray the cost from taxpayers.
Thank you.
Somebody else, Tom, did you have your hand up? Come on up. Well, come on up and identify yourself, take the microphone.
Tom Pizzoli. My question was, when Mr. Conrad stated about two of these resolutions, what does that mean? I don't understand what that means.
They're moved down to the regular agenda.
So that, okay, I didn't know what that meant.
Okay, thank you. Okay, any other public comments on the consent agenda? Close the public portion. Do I have a motion? You got to read them now.
Approval of minutes from April 21st, 2014. Resolution 2014-131 through 2014-134. 2014-136 through 2014-141, and 2014-143 and 144.
Okay, do I have a motion to approve?
Make a motion.
Do Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Councilmember Conrad?
Yes.
Councilmember Neville?
Yes.
Councilmember Simonson?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Clark?
Yes.
Mayor Beck?
Yes.
Resolution 2014-135. This is a resolution to award a professional contract without public bidding. This is to OSK Design for the Department of Public Safety Building in the amount of $192,000.
Okay, Tom, you wanted it moved down?
Yes. Last meeting, I asked to get a better price, to get basically a better accounting analysis, however you want to put it, cost analysis of what it's going to actually cost us, because I have a few questions about items that we didn't have definite answers on. I didn't know it was going to cost us $192,000 to do a cost analysis. An engineer could have done it, but this is more reading that's the whole contract and not just for cost analysis.
The clerk could correct me, and I'll be staying corrected if I'm wrong, but the last meeting, all 5 of you gentlemen said to move forward to hire an architect.
I believe so.
My thing was for a cost analysis, though.
You voted to hire an architect.
Yes, for a cost, because I wanted cost.
And this gentleman here has been working hand in hand with our police chief and the administration as a volunteer. He's a resident of the community.
On that part, I'm not, it does look a little, I'll be honest with you, it does look a little bad, and Mr. Shusky, this is nothing personal.
What looks
It does
bad?
look like a backroom deal, because he was on the volunteer thing, and all of a sudden, he gets the contract for 192.
I think it's insulting to Mr. Shawsky. He's a resident, and let me please respond. I have, because I thought you'd bring it up, his firm and him, because he's passionate about doing the right thing for this township, working with the police department, and wants it to be part of his legacy that he helped to provide a good police department. His fee is 5%. The other fees for architects that has been authorized in the past, 17%, 11%, 19%, and 15%. And I'll give this to you to look at.
And so I believe you. My question
And
is.
and we have in the past, like, for instance, the Fishing Creek School, the architect did the plans before, he did a lot of pro bono work, and then we hired him.
And the Fishing Creek School, that was something through the Fishing Creek School, the committee for that.
Well, you
My
voted
question-
for it, the Fishing Creek School had to be approved through here.
Yeah, yes. and
It's the
that's-
same situation. This guy spent a year and a half, and believe me, we needed to have somebody who had the expertise on the Public Safety Building Committee. I get what you're saying, Tom. But he came in and he prevented us from making probably the same mistake that was made the first time.
I agree with
Which is to try and repair the unrepairable. Now, and at that point in time, he's an architect and he volunteers and he helps us. I mean, and Eric, that was probably the best selection that we made for that committee. But he went through a year or so with not only working, I mean, he was up on the building, he was walking around doing everything to try and see where we were at. Then he turned around after the committee voted unanimously to abandon ship over there. He came and sat with the chief, I don't know how many times, to help draw this. Now, nobody ever said a word to him about appointing him. So reality is, up until a couple of weeks ago, if council had said 5-0, we don't want to move forward, he's out in a lurch. But and he's a township resident, and his fee will save us a lot of money, a lot of money. If he was not in the running to be considered for this, I think in a certain way, maybe we should have said something in the very beginning. Because I'm not rewarding him for being on the committee, but I don't want to punish him either.
We should have told him ahead of time that.
Well, I'm just saying, the guy came and he volunteered. It's almost like you put somebody on there that does, like, say, lawn cutting services or something like that. Does that preclude them from?
No, what
from
I'm saying is it gives the appearance because he went straight from that. Do I believe that he did that? No. My problem is, if we went out to an RFP, would he have wanted the bid probably for that price? Yes.
Yes.
I'm just
And
saying
he's
that-
saving
but
us a ton of money.
My thing was, it was for a cost analysis only, and now we're
Well, you can't get a
hiring
cost-
an architect.
You can't
for
get a
an
cost analysis. It
unapproved
comes
project.
I get you.
Councilman, it'd be like put your shoe on, then put the sock on.
It'd be like,
You need an
yeah, but if you don't own the
architect.
shoe, what's the problem?
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
Manager Vol, does it cost $192,000 to get the cost analysis, or that's a total?
That's the whole package.
That's the whole package.
To put it out to bid, get prices with contractors, do the MEP work, mechanical, electrical, and plumbing work.
Right.
That's the whole idea. And then to get back to what Tom wants, you have to put it out. He's got to sit down, they got to design, put all the specs together, and meet with some large firms that do this type of work. They've built police stations in the past, Dan Chowsky and his organization. And I was tickled pink when I negotiated this professional services contract with him to come in at 5%. Normally, when I was in the private sector working for an engineering company, architects could be anywhere from 8% to 15%. And you've seen some in front of you that I pulled out today in case this question came, where people that we supported were charging us the 17% and others. I think it's one heck of a good deal. I feel very good about moving forward with this gentleman, that he'll do an excellent job. He's going to take pride in doing the right thing because his heart's in the right place.
But Mike, I think we're missing a point here. It's a no-bid contract for $192,000, so it's like a payback for him volunteering for the committee. He also was a yes vote to move the police station back here, and now he gets a $192,000 contract without anybody else putting in a bid. I think that, that gives the appearance of impropriety. It's not the best practice for,
I respectfully understand what you're saying. I disagree. I know the man. I know the man's of quality. Now, we could.
I'm not questioning that. That's not in question.
If you want, we could, you just vote no. And I'll go out and talk to these other organizations that are charging 17%, 11%, 15%, and you'll end up paying more money. But that's counter.
That's why there are bids. That's why you put bids out, so you can find that out.
But we had somewhat, I get the fact that it was an advisory board. There was nothing that was mandatory about that, and it was a unanimous vote. His vote didn't mean anything. The point I'm saying is we've had architects in the past that have helped. That we're in the process of doing one right now with an engineering firm. We wanted to put an application in for a grant. We went to a variety of engineering firms, and we said, would you fill this application out? And one said, yeah, we'll do it, but you're going to pay us to do it.
Yeah, but I didn't agree with that either. I don't think that's right.
Well, I'm just saying that, at the end of the road, we got somebody to do the application for nothing, which would have cost the township a lot. They're going to foot the bill for that. If they get the grant, they get the engineering contract. I mean, that's just, it saves the township money. And it's done all the time. We had it with the guy who did the specs for the Fishing Creek School and submitted them to the state, and he got us the grant, and he now has the work over there. And I can promise you this, none of these people are charging what we're getting charged for this by this company.
Well, I think we're missing the point here. I have no, I appreciate Mr. Showski's work, obviously. I mean, I appointed him to the board. The point is we're giving paybacks for people that,
No, I don't think we're giving paybacks.
Not a payback. He's done all this volunteer work, and
I realize that, but it's the appearance of impropriety. We're giving a non-bid, it's $192,000.
That's correct. And
bidding on it.
And that's based on the estimates of a $3.5 to $3.8 million police station. And it would be an insult, me as the township manager, when I sit to negotiate in the best interest of you and all the citizens, a professional services contract for a guy that's been intimately involved, passionately involved. He's a resident. He's worked hand in hand with the police department many hours, many days, and give us a 5%. Would you rather me go out and negotiate and get a 12% from somebody else?
He would have that opportunity for a bid process to bid $192,000, and he would, like you said, would most likely get it. But it's the point. It's once again where it's bad practice. That's all.
Okay.
So
Thank you.
this gentleman has donated his time for years.
Mm-hmm.
This gentleman has come in with, I'm looking here, Hatchmont 19%, Hatchmont 15% for the construction administration, 17% with Blaine Steinman. This is what they normally get paid. So I think
Again, we're missing the whole point.
The point seems to be that we should thank the man for volunteering pro bono and then coming in and offering to do this at 5%.
Well, again, it's the appearance of impropriety. It's a no-bid contract for this type of money. I feel that it's bad practice.
Okay. We'll open it up for public comment. Close the public portion. Do I have a motion to approve? Well, all right. Well, you got to raise.
Lady in the back, too.
Yes, I don't see the hands. Go ahead, this gentleman.
Jack Sparks. That money, that's part of the bond issue, is that correct?
The architectural fee comes out of it's called Section 20, and we have the money for that.
Okay.
Matter of fact, I only had up to $200,000 to work with, and he was kind enough to stay way under that.
Okay. Who hired him? Did you hire him?
I negotiated, and they hire him tonight. They'll either vote to move forward and hire his firm or not.
Oh, I didn't know the vote wasn't,
We didn't have the vote yet.
it hadn't had a vote yet. Okay, well, that should, I think that should solve it then. Okay, thank you.
Yes, ma'am?
Yes, my name is Anne Marie Waxman. I live in Town Bank, and I guess I agree with you that it doesn't seem best practice to award someone a job because they've been a volunteer. It's a volunteer. When people volunteer, they don't get paid for it in any way.
Well, they
So-
do sometimes with the professional services, and we've had this before, like I said, with architects who have volunteered and who have led the charge on different projects.
I would like to see it put out to bid. That's my opinion.
Thank you.
As a taxpayer, that I would like to see monies from the township to be, job to be put out to bid.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anybody else? I think this gentleman has his hand up over here.
My name is Joe Gansey. I'm from North Cape May.
Right.
And I would like to see it put out for bid, too.
Okay.
I really don't know the guy's qualifications. I don't know what $192,000 is buying us as compared to, 5%, 17. Is he a one-person firm that's going to do everything by hand, or are we going to get automated drawings? I don't know any of this stuff.
Well, Mr. Shawsky happens to be here, so I'm going to ask him now to address you and the council.
Oh, okay.
Since there's so many questions. Dan, would you please? He's our local resident and the architect on the job.
And I definitely want to tell you that you didn't do a bad job last week. I heard.
Thank you. My whole reason for volunteering originally was to make sure that, as a taxpayer, and I'm concerned, I've been a resident here since 1975. I've never been awarded any work in Lower Township. I think that I'm probably one of the most qualified people anywhere to do this work. Our firm's been in business now for almost 30 years. I've been a registered architect and working in this field for over 40 years at this point in time. And my biggest concern, having observed, if I can make it the right word, other municipalities, and I got calls from two of them over the past couple months where they were concerned that why was there a police station that was smaller than ours, costing $600 a square foot? And a lot of it's because some of the architects and designers just don't have an idea of what budgets mean. And that's why I got involved, because I wanted to make sure that the taxpayers, including myself of Lower Township, were getting a fair deal. The building we're designing is not a $500 square foot building. We already know that, and that's my whole reason for being part of this. Now, as far as my fee goes, my fee is right in line with what architects and engineers get paid, and it's not all our money. We have to pay structural engineers, mechanical engineers, my staff, and my staff are all, they're registered architects. We've done court facilities for Stone Harbor, for North Wildwood. I've done police facilities in New Jersey and Pennsylvania, so I'm more than well qualified to do something like this. Probably better than anybody else you would ever hire.
Have you done police stations before?
Yes, I have. I have, Mike.
I know.
And I have been working my rear end off for 2 years now to make sure that the township's getting what they deserve. I'm not asking for anything. If you don't want to give it to me, that's fine.
It's not that we don't want to give it to you.
No, we don't.
Wait,
It's not
you know what, let me ask you a question. You're going to go out for bids. You're not going to take my drawings and get bids with it. So what are you going to get bids on?
Again, your qualifications are not in question. The question is how the process is, when the way government works, we're supposed to, it's supposed to be a fair
It's been
process.
done
Same
before.
process we've
Well,
done before.
it may have been done before, but I don't agree with it, that's all.
All right, well,
I don't think it's fair.
okay.
And Thank you very much. I don't disagree that you're qualified to do this.
I've been working my
Thank you.
tail off to make sure that the township's getting a fair deal.
Yeah.
If you want to hire somebody to have a police station that costs $8-10 million, be my guest. Because that's what's going to happen.
Dan, I'm sorry you had to go through
Yeah,
that.
thank you.
Okay.
Thank
I'm
you.
sorry. Okay.
Is there anybody else who wishes to address council? Close the public portion. Do I have a motion to approve? You did read it already. Do I have a motion to approve?
I'll make that motion, because I think it's a good deal. I think bringing the police back here is the right move. I think that we got to do it as cheap as possible, and this is the best way to get there.
Second?
Second.
Councilmember Conrad?
Mr. Shusky, as I said, this was not personal. I wanted a price. I know you're qualified. The work you've done is excellent. But I just wanted a cost analysis. So I have to vote no on a whole contract.
Councilmember Neville?
Yes.
Councilmember Simonson?
No.
Deputy Mayor Clark?
Yes.
Mayor Beck?
Yes. All right, move it. I'm out. Down you go. Next one.
Resolution number 2014-142, appointment of a conflict bond counsel for the year 2014 without public bidding. This is for Parker McKay.
Okay. Council comments?
Why do we now need conflict bond counsel?
Because the MUA has the same, this is, well, go ahead, Ron.
No, that's it, Mayor. The current bond counsel represents both the township and the MUA, two independent authorities. If the MUA were to consent to the dissolution, they could stay on. They'd be willing to stay on and do all the work necessary. In the event that the MUA is not cooperative or does not consent to the dissolution, they would recuse themselves, probably from both representing the MUA and the township in the matter. So that's the reason for the appointment of the bond counsel. It's not known at this time whether they'll be used, but they'll be standing by in the wings, so to speak, and if needed, they'll be there.
Okay, the main reason is, been here over 7 years, this is the first time this ever came up, and I'm like, okay, and I just realized that last night, it was like, okay, let me just ask that. We didn't go,
There's no cost attached, Councilman.
that's perfect. All right, thank you.
Any other questions from council? Open up the public comment on this. Close the public portion. Do I have a motion to approve?
I'll move.
Second?
Second.
Councilmember Conrad?
Yes.
Councilmember Neville?
Yes.
Councilmember Simonson?
No.
Deputy Mayor Clark?
Yes.
Mayor Beck?
Yes.
Resolution number 2014-145, payment of vouchers to Lower Township Rescue in the amount of $10,000. This is an expense payment.
Okay, council comments on that resolution? Open up the public comments on that resolution. Close the public portion. Do I have a motion to approve?
I'll move.
A second?
Second.
Councilmember Conrad?
Abstain.
Councilmember Neville?
Yes.
Councilmember Simonson?
Abstain.
Deputy Mayor Clark?
Yes.
Mayor Beck?
Yes.
Resolution number 2014-147. This is payment of vouchers to the school district for school taxes in the amount of $2,706,000. No, $2,706,952.40. I'm sorry.
Okay. Any council comments on the payment of vouchers?
Doesn't matter.
Okay. Any public comments on the payment of the school tax voucher? Close the public's comments. Do I have a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Second.
Councilmember Conrad?
Yes.
Councilmember Neville?
Yes.
Councilmember Simonson?
Abstain.
Deputy Mayor Clark?
Yes.
Mayor Beck?
Yes. Okay, move now to council comments. Councilman Conrad?
Went to a meeting of Escape the Cape. they asked for me to make an announcement. June 7th and 8th, the Escape to Cape 2 is coming along. The route's slightly different. I'm trying to arrange for that the guy in charge to come under Mitch at the next...
Steve Del Monte.
Stephen Del Monte to come next meeting to give a work session to explain exactly what the course is, what's happening. He did want to announce, because they're going to go going straight down Ferry Road to Seashore. They're not going to Jonathan Hoffman. There's a couple changes to make it easier on the people that live in the area, but at the same time, it is going to affect all traffic, especially going into Cape May on that morning. He did want people to put out on the 7th, the kids splash and dash, ages 17 to 14. It's going to happen at 3 o'clock. It's kids run out into the water, 200 yards, then they have a little bit of a run. They all get shirts, finisher tags, free passes to Maury's. There's a video if you want to see what's happening on the Escape to Cape website and Facebook. Now, as alluded, I wasn't here last week. I was traveling on vacation. It was interesting listening to the news in different parts of the East Coast, what was happening, the different criminal activities. In Wilson, North Carolina, they were starting to talk about the oxycodone problem and how it's leading to heroin. I'm proud to say this township's a little bit ahead on trying to educate people on that one. That's, Mayor, I would like to thank you on that part also.
Tom, it's why we need the police station back here.
Well, that's, how many arrests did the police station make? Okay, the other thing that was interesting in Wilson is they have a thing they put out in the paper, in the hotels and campgrounds and stuff. It says 40 fun things to do in Wilson. I don't know if our rec department could look at it or economic development, but it lists a bunch of different things. We can put out the campgrounds, different stores, and maybe even town hall to say what is going on in our township. It's like a yearly calendar, but it's put in a different method. It promotes the businesses, it promotes different events, and let's face it, we have some good events coming up in this township.
A couple Saturdays ago, we went to the Little League opening, and it's a wonderful job that those guys do. Eric sings a little better than I do, but
We did it together. We did a duet.
Yeah, we did a duet. But the most important thing on my agenda is the Shore Road Beach Drive. We're going to have a meeting. It's going to be May 31st, which is a Saturday at 10 o'clock in here. I went on to Channel 9, the high school, interviewed, I think, Eric, did you get interviewed as well on that?
Yeah.
Yes. I've also reached out to Dr. Stu Farrell. So some of the people that wanted to know about the dune and the dune situation and I haven't heard back from him. I'm not going to promise he's coming, but I'm going to reach out, and I have asked him 2 different times. He's on vacation till Wednesday. That way, and we also are going to notify through the paper, through the rec board. I've already told the Property Owners Association president, but they'll get an email out to all the property owners. And then the most fantastic idea was also a robocall to everybody in Ward 2. So if I'm missing anybody, let me know, please. Thank you.
Eric?
Yeah, like Jim said, the opening day for Little League, and it's always great to see that many kids out involved in extracurricular activities. It teaches them so many things, keeps them off the street, and gets them involved. Our volunteer coaches, to the parents, to the board that runs our Little League, and I just want to, if you can get out to see a game, anytime you drive by Mitnick and see the lights on, they're playing at night, they're playing on the weekends. It's great to just hang out and catch a game. Yesterday was the LCMR students had a benefit, a beef and no beer at the Bayview, and it's a contest that they're in through the National Highway and Traffic Safety Alliance. They're currently, I think, in 11th place out of the whole state, and it's called You Got Brains. They're promoting awareness of brain trauma and injuries, anything, all kinds of traffic safety for teenagers. And if anyone, you can vote for them by going to the Lower Cape May Regional website and clicking on you'll see an icon there for the poll, and you can vote as many times as you want. Like I said, they're trying to win a student driving simulator for the high school, which is worth, obviously, a lot of money. And like I said, they had a nice event yesterday, but help them out by voting for that. I know Deputy Mayor mentioned it last time. I just want to remind people the beach cleanup is May 17th at 10 at Douglas Park. Especially with, I know the mayor mentioned we have, and Tom, everybody, we have a great event coming, the Escape the Cape. I did it last year, and it's doubled from last year, and we want to, our beaches on the bay to look, look as pristine as they can for our visitors. There's people that come from all over the country to do this event. I've done some of the trainings. People have actually come from as far as Virginia and Maine and things to do it. And last, I'm not sure, Manager Vol, can we talk about the Exit Zero public information meeting, or is that still?
We did get a date, is that right? For the public hearing for.
May 20th, is that still?
4 to 7.
Yes.
Yeah.
It'll be here.
Right here.
And all the constituents, councilmen, will be notified in that immediate area
Yep, I just,
of that public hearing.
that's for the parkway improvement at the end of the parkway. Over
109 and mile marker 0
And it's,
in Lower Township.
I know the mayor and I and Manager Vol and some of the police officers have met, and it looks like it's going to upgrade the end of the parkway there and make it safer for everybody. That's it for me.
Tonight, we voted for another year to have our fireworks, and this is done by our Recreation Department, along with the great concerts that we have to make this a great place to be during the summer. But our Recreation Department has come to council, as they do every year, and asked us to help raise at least $30,000 to make all of this happen. And last year, it was my honor and privilege as part of my initiation as deputy mayor to raise $30,000 by going out to our businesses and asking them to be friends of Lower Township and promising them that we would shout from the rooftops our thank you for anyone that donated money. We would make sure the residents really knew that they were doing good for our community. This year, I think we're going to have to raise a little bit more than that, because last year, $5,000 came from the MUA, and I don't think we're going to be getting that this year. So that made it we only needed $30,000. So I think maybe it's going to be $35,000. And I know that Eric has a lot of experience raising money too. So Councilman Simonson, I should say, I asked him the other day if he would help split this obligation with me, and he graciously said yes. So I want to challenge, we're going to challenge each other to, through our Friends of Lower Township campaign, to raise $35,000 to support a recreation department, and the fireworks in particular. Secondly, Cold Spring Village is a jewel, a treasure of this township. It is one of our crowning glories, and every year, speaking of raising money, they invite everybody to that wonderful hangar in a great space amidst the plains, and all of the best food and wine that this region produces is gathered under that hangar, and we all get to enjoy it for a reasonable price of, $75? They've asked me to just put in a plug. For those of you who haven't made your reservations, please call Cold Spring Village tomorrow. It's called Feasting on History. It'll be at the hangar. We'll all be there. And it's really a social highlight of the season. It's probably 700 people will be there, and lots of great food. So we'll see you there tomorrow. If you haven't made your reservations, please call Cold Spring Village and do so. Thank you.
You get your picture taken with the deputy when you get over.
Oh, boy.
No, cancel that. That might drive people away. All right. First of all, Genesis Healthcare, they deserve a big thank you. Last week, they ran a health fair over at our rec building, and it was well attended. Gave blood. There was a lot of people over there. So that's at Denise Raymond and at Genesis Healthcare, and a tip of the hat to them. They take care of our people. So we're thankful for that. Then the Garden Club, I had the honor to come out and put a tree in the ground with the Garden Club, and that's like the highlight of the year, kind of a deal as far as that. But they do so much for this township all year long, and they really go below the radar, but we're very grateful for what they do. They're like the biggest group we have in the town, right, ladies? You ride by here when the Garden Club's in here, it's like standing room only here. The Garden Club, yeah. So, we thank them also, because they do a lot of work for us. Season pool passes are now on sale at the rec department, right? Okay, I think that's about it. We ran through all the other stuff, so,
Mayor, if I may?
yes, you may.
Ladies and gentlemen, and the people watching tonight, in the past, we've had complaints about the quality of our audio and visual camera. We now have a new camera. Tonight's the first night, and we hope that when you look at TV or go to our website and watch the council meetings, you're going to find out it's a lot better, and our council people are much more handsome than you've been seeing in the past.
Thank you.
But secondly, just a little humor. I hope you find the quality better, and I know Ed's been asking for a while to hear better. So the system now works right through what you're hearing in the audience, and you should hear that on your television also, or the YouTube. And secondly, Mr. Douglas and I were down at the recycling facility, our Public Works facility on Saturday. We now are issuing new stickers, 2014 stickers for residents of Lower Township. Stickers haven't been issued for several years, and when I looked at a tonnage report of how much it's went up, I met with Mr. Douglas, and we've had people, believe it or not, coming from other areas and other communities that were going there dumping that weren't residents. So we tightened up the process so that we can make sure the people that use that convenient facility are Lower Township taxpayers. That's it, Mayor.
Thank you. Yes, one more.
Community Day.
Community Day, is that on my list?
Yes.
Oh, sugar. Sorry about that. Hold on, I got it.
May
Hold on, specs on.
31st.
Community Day, well, you know why, I didn't read it. No, I'm only kidding you. Saturday, May 31st, Community Day, 12 noon to 3 o'clock at Clem Mulligan Park. Where's that at? That's where I live, right there. It's at home base. Shredding at Town Hall from 9 to 12 on that day. Let me go through
Same
this
day as
again.
your
Community Day is Saturday, May 31st. That's the same day as your meeting, right?
Yes.
The shredding will be out front.
And the shredding may be in here.
Not at Mulligan, it'll be out front of the
Okay.
municipal building.
Shredding's going to be on the side.
The shredding's out
Councilman
front
Miller's meeting.
or on the side. But the Community Day, which is always a lot of fun, are you going to have the bike things and all that, right?
That'll be at the Clem Mulligan.
That'll be at Clem Mulligan Field. Mulligan Park, which is, you go down Bike Ices, then you go back straight, and then we're back over there towards the airport. Okay. All right, we'll open it up to public comment. Step forward, tell us your name, your area. There's a gentleman right here with his hand up. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
My name's Ed Sharetta. I live on Roseanne Avenue.
Yes, sir.
And I'm really glad to hear you guys are going to save $1 million because we have a problem there that I think you're aware of. I'm just curious if you have any actual plans to do anything there, and if you do, some type of timetable.
Well, I can honestly say that we're still waiting on word for this grant, and as soon as we do that, then we can get the engineering done. But we'll get the public works person out there. And to be honest, we don't have a full-scale engineered drawing. We
Yeah.
had some work from an engineer, which we came, go ahead, Mike,
Yeah.
last year.
To date, the drainage, you must admit, has been better because of some minor things have been done. The long-term plan is we're going to have to replace some pipe in that road. There's a lot of other utilities that we're going to have to move when we do it. We do have, if we don't get the grant, we do have the bonding capacity in next year to go ahead with that Public Works project. But it's on the drawing board as far as being done. And every time it rains, like we had those heavy rains the other day, I was thanking God that I wasn't getting the phone calls like we were getting in the past every time it really rained hard. So the flow is a little better, but it seems to me like we're giving an aspirin right now and keeping the headache away, but we're going to have to deal with that challenge.
Okay. I mean, I hope that's something that's on the agenda because
Yeah, it is.
my concern, quite frankly, is there's homes there that are getting water. Thankfully, mine hasn't at this point. The sidewalk's deteriorating, and it's going to turn into a slum. I mean, people, it's a slum. People are not going to be able to sell their homes, and they're going to get, they're going to let them degrade. I see that happening, quite frankly. So I'm hoping it's
We'll
there
check
and
on
it's
it some
something
more.
that's,
Put that on there that we can call and see because we were supposed to be notified last month on this thing.
Yeah.
right. All right, thank
All
you.
right, thank you.
Mr. Manager, my question is, we're supposed to be using the bonding for the police station, all the capacity for next year, so where's the money coming from for Roseanne Avenue then?
That's not,
Well, hold on a minute, because
Yeah.
It's just a question.
Yeah, I'm prepared to answer that. The report that I gave each council member last month it shows right at the bottom that the township has the capacity to borrow up to $29 million between fiscal year 2015 and 2018 for any capital project without raising taxes.
Okay, I'm just asking because it's.
So it's in my plan. Right now, Councilman, we've applied for this grant, and we're hoping for it to come through, but the backup is if we have to go to capital, it'll be cleaned up.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, a gentleman in the back with his hand up. Yes, sir. Come on forward. Yes, yeah, please. No, Ed, sit down. This guy, gentleman in the back.
Danny.
You'll get your shot at the apple in a second. Danny?
Dan Anderson, Town Bank Road.
Yes, sir.
For any of you veterans out there, Cape May is giving out free beach tags. I've already got mine. If you're a veteran, you're welcome to it. You deserve it. Go get it.
Thank you.
We're doing the same thing.
You want to say something? Go ahead. And then Ed.
Yeah, just to follow that up on the veterans, on May 13th, which is next Tuesday, here in Lower Township at the Aviation Museum, it'll be the second of 4 opportunity job and vet fairs. It's open to all veterans in Cape May County. There'll be employers there specifically looking for vets to help in job opportunities. There'll also be some health care there. There'll be some VA vans, anybody that needs help to get VA medical benefits. So it's going to be from 9 to 1 at the Aviation Museum all day.
Did you say the 13th?
The 13th, which is next Tuesday.
Have the papers written about this?
There's been news release and flyers, which will be coming out all this week on the event.
Okay.
It's open to vets and families. And I'm really asking for a plea. These things work if we get people to attend them. And the saddest thing is when you go to these and you don't see no vets, because there's still a lot of vets out there who need help, who won't seek it. So get your vets out. Thanks.
Thank you. Ed, you're up. Ed had his hand up before.
I'd just like to follow Ed Butler, those, just like to follow up with Mr. Varlow's what he brought up about the camera and all. I viewed it Sunday night. Picture was great. Eileen did a good job on it. It came through fine. The only problem we still have is a little bit with the audio. It'd be nice if you happen to listen to it, or if you look at it and see it. Hopefully that'll clear it up. But
Ed, believe it or not,
that's a problem.
Ed, not to interrupt, the old camera was used for that one. Where do you see?
But you know what?
This one's really going to be good.
Yeah, well, we'll see what it looks like on Tuesday night, because the people at home, that can't get here and they want to keep up with things, it's really an asset to them. And, I'd like to thank the township for keeping that
Well,
going.
I know the council's been embarrassed with some of the quality in the past, not because of our staff doing it, was just we didn't have it plugged in. You can see the wire now is plugged in directly in the wall over there, which now goes through the circuitry here. And as you hear me talk now, that's what you'll hear on your TV.
Right, which has been in this hall for a long time behind these frames here. So now it's being used, and, hopefully everything's going to be, thank you.
There's a lady back here, I think it is, that had her hand up. Yes, ma'am.
My name is Sally Yerk, and I too am out from Roseanne Avenue.
Yes.
And I've been here before to speak about that. Please don't forget us. Last Sunday, we did have a water main break on Roseanne 214. Now we have another huge hole there. How we solve this problem, we have cones, and they'll be there for a while, I suppose. We do have flooding. It hasn't stopped.
Right.
Many times when we do have
I got
water,
you.
my sons do go up and they clean out the sewers if they happen to be there. We have sinkholes. I won't park across the street in front of 226, and my neighbor's also here. I'm afraid that it'll sink.
Mm-hmm.
Drive down our street. And I have been here for 35 years, and I've talked to most of you council members, and you know me. And I've talked to council members all the way back from Joe Lonigan when he was here, and he lived on Suzanne Avenue and had the same problem. It's not been fixed. I know we built on a pond. I didn't know it at the time. I'm not from here, I'm from Pittsburgh. But something has to be done. So please do it soon. I don't want it just to be put on the agenda or wait for it anymore. I've been patient.
Yes, you have.
But I don't want to be patient.
Okay.
I want us to be heard.
We'll
Thank you.
get some answers.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Tomorrow, Mike, we'll make a call and see where they're at, and then
Mr. Douglas and I will go out there tomorrow and take a look at the current conditions. I know he monitors it. And as far as the sinkhole, if that's a situation, we're going to have to address that right away. And I don't know if that's a part of the utility or if it's part of our collection system, but we will evaluate it tomorrow.
Rosalie?
Rosalie Gallagher, Springtime Road in Cape May Beach. I'm going to allude to the comment Councilman Conrad made about things to do in Lower Township, and also Deputy Mayor Norris Clark about the Jewel Cold Springs Village. Well, we have other jewels in Lower Township. They're across the canal, and one of them is the Cape May Lighthouse. For all of you that are in this room and have grandchildren in the summer, go to Cape May Point State Park, which is in Lower Township.
Absolutely.
Take your grandchildren there, have a picnic, walk the beach, go into the museum shops. And by the way, that those brown buildings that house the museum shops, at one time that was part of Fort Miles during World War II. Our another gem, as two gentlemen alluded to, the veterans. Go out, visit Fire Control Tower number 23. It pays respect and honor to those men and women that served in our wars, and there's an eternal flame there. And yes, we are having something out there for Veterans Day. So remember, everyone, we have great jewels here in Lower Township. Please visit them. Thank you.
Oh, don't forget Sunset Beach.
Somebody else had their hand up? Yes, I see the hand. Right back here, yes, that gentleman with the...
Okay, my name is Joe Gansey from North Cape May, and thank you very much, Councilman Neville, for trying to get that meeting together and trying to get all the people there. I know I was here last week, and I did forget to mention my last name, sorry. But yes, I actually had a chance to read the Stockton College report on Hurricane Sandy. Actually, I was just reading it the other day. And one of the things they mentioned was that since the storm went north to Atlantic City, we missed the 14-foot storm surge. And one of the things I would like to know from the council is, I know you're doing some shore protection projects and beach restoration projects up in Reed's Beach and Pierce Point, and you're going to do some on the Atlantic side. What is the plan for North Cape May and Town Bank for shore protection and beach replenishment?
Well, we've been to DEP numerous times. We've made our voices known for the past 2 years on this. One of the problems is that inside the Army Corps, you have shore protection and then you have environmental protection. They kind of put our area down here based upon a project that this township rejected 20 years ago, 15 years ago.
Okay.
And I think some of us were here at the time remember that. The place was packed, and council had at that point the opportunity to sign off on this project. They did not. So we're caught between two branches of the Army Corps, between the shore protection and the bird environmental protection. Again, I allude back to what we've done. I've got a slew of emails asking DEP for help, Army Corps. We've had all the meetings known to mankind. But the bulk of the money is going towards the Atlantic side, and the small projects that are being done up in Middle were on the books from a long time ago. What we're hoping is that we applied for a resiliency grant, which would give us the funding, and I've just alluded to it, to do a whole study of the whole township and it would pay the engineering costs of that. We should have heard in March, being honest about it. That was the original deadline from DEP. And I still haven't heard from them. That's what I said, we have to get on them tomorrow. But that being said, if it came through, that would enable us to do all the engineering studies for all of these different areas, including the shore. And hopefully out of those kinds of studies, we could apply for the proper funding that we need. I mean, I can't imagine if the township could spend $10 million or something for beach replenishment. We just can't do it. We need help outside of our area to do that. So that's where we're at. But I've got a slew of, like, we've been to every meeting known to mankind. We've talked to every official known to mankind. But we're not, and you know, in some ways, and Norris and I had talked about this, and it's like, you know, we're the weak child here kind of a deal along the bayfront, where the Atlantic side gets all the attention. And, you know, we partnered up with Middle on fighting FEMA about the V zones. And just maybe we should start, you know, flexing a little bit more muscle and reaching out to some of the towns along the bay side and joining forces with them and saying, you know what, we're getting the short end of the stick here. So,
Is there any way the residents can help?
well, if that's possible, we will certainly let you know. But I mean, you know, at some point in time, let me just find out between now and the next meeting. We'll find out what happened. At one point, DEP reached out to us. There was a notice about this resiliency grant, and it's federal money. And this is where the games get played. But it came through the feds, and it was filtered into the state. Correct me if I'm wrong, Mike. But what we had was they were going to partner, DEP was going to sponsor 10 towns. Well, we were selected as one based upon that engineers firm that we spoke about earlier who did all the paperwork and really did a great job. And we were sponsored by DEP in the application process. We were partnered with them, I think is the term. So now we're just waiting on that to find out where that's at. You know, you don't want to spend money, but what you really don't want to do is spend it twice. And what I want to make sure, the thing that this council will spend whatever it takes to fix over in Roseanne. I just want to make sure, whether it's Roseanne or the beachfront, you just want to make sure that you do it the right way, that it's the right thing that you're doing. That you don't want to sit back and put $2 million out on repairing this and find out you got the wrong thing. So we're trying to work that out. A lot of these problems we inherited, and a lot of them they're modern problems of people who live along coastlines. You know, we weren't anticipating, you go back a couple of years ago, this wasn't a topic of discussion. It's all generated because of the hurricane. And it certainly was one of those things that sat collecting dust. A lot of these reports, like I said about the project from 20 years ago, that this place was packed, and people said, we don't want it. Don't come near our beachfront. Because they would have had to sign easements, and there was all sorts of different things that were involved with that. So we're fighting with the FEMA maps right now, trying to get that straight, and that's coming up real soon.
Right.
So we got a lot of irons in the fire. It's just a matter of trying to get them and see what the results are.
Okay. Well, I'm looking forward. I hope the guy from Stockton College, the professor, I
Yes.
can't remember his name right now.
Stu Farrell.
Stu Farrell. Very, very interesting reports. And
Very
everything.
smart guy.
Yeah. And, you know, I just don't want my house knocked off its foundation and the possibility of my neighbors drowning in their house because we don't have a dune. So I'd really,
I understand
can't
that.
stress it even strong enough.
You're right.
Yeah.
We get that.
It's so much more important than
Well,
everything we've talked about.
Listen, we want to the state. And
Yeah.
go ahead. Tell them about Bob Martin.
Look, our fortunes are linked with the horseshoe crabs in terms of protecting our beaches. We have some significant beaches because of the horseshoe crabs and the migration of the birds. And years ago, when the DEP considered replenishing those dunes, they were wanting to do it in the context of taking care of the birds as well as the horseshoe crabs. And they were prepared to spend a lot of money to do it, and they were asking the township to put up a small portion of that, about $100,000, I think. And we
No, it was more than that.
More than that?
It was
800.
It was close to $1 million.
Close to $1 million. So it was about 10%, I think, of the total thing. We said no at the time. Well, anything that's happening in terms of this area, when they came back again to look at it, when the governor, we went up to see Bob Martin, who was head of the DEP. We said, listen, we've got all these concerns that we have along our bay here. What can you do? He says, well, don't worry. The governor's going to get money from Sandy, from the federal government, and we're going to take care of the whole shoreline of the state of New Jersey.
Yeah, you'll be last, but we're going to get to you. We're
Don't
gonna
worry.
come all the way down New Jersey and get to you guys. Somewhere the scissors came out.
The scissors came out the minute they realized that our Army Corps project was environmental and not protection against storm surge. And so they couldn't fund us through Sandy, and they said, you know, we have to,
And Joe,
Yes.
I mean, I know it's a terrible thing to think of somebody drowning in their home, but from Coxwall Creek down half of the block and then going down towards the ferry,
Yeah.
you're on what, 1600?
1602. Yeah.
Yeah, the first 2 blocks, North Cape May, is actually the highest ground.
I know it is.
Whalers,
I know it is, yeah.
you know, the
And
Sandy Bluff known as Town Bank.
Right.
It would be ungodly devastation, and anybody that did not heed a warning to evacuate would be dead.
and the beach replenishment up in Reeds, that was done for the horseshoe crab.
Right.
Right.
And,
Not beach replenishment.
Right. And I'll just make it short. I actually volunteered to be a return the favor, where they go out and walk along and put the horseshoe crabs back in the water. And I actually volunteered to be a walker on the North Cape May Beach, and I may be coming back to ask the council to help support that and maybe come on a beach walk with me. So there you go.
Thank you, Joe.
We'll be out there on the 17th.
Do that on the 17th.
17th, yeah. We can pick up trash and put the crabs back in the water at the same time. One-stop shopping. Yeah, yes, ma'am. Yes,
Yes, it's Anne Marie Waxman, Town Bank.
right.
I have a couple notes here. And I too am volunteering on the 17th too to clean up Douglas. This is in regard to the Beach Drive project. I understand that in October of 2013, that a grant was petitioned for the Department of Transportation. Monies for that. What's the status of that? Has it been funded, denied? Is it-
We have our grants coordinator right behind
She's
Lance.
back here. Colleen?
They haven't awarded yet. We don't know. So does that mean it's just pending? Yes. Just out there, okay. And the 2014 budget, is it on the website? Can it be viewed?
Oh, I don't know if it's on yet. Is it on?
I think it should be.
It should be.
I think Lauren left, but. Did she put it on yet? Yeah.
It is?
No?
All right, well, we'll double check on it. It should,
If it's not, it will be.
Yeah, now that it's adopted, it'll go on.
yeah.
So is there a deadline that it should be, because it's been adopted?
We could put it on tomorrow.
Yeah, I don't know, I haven't looked.
I haven't either. I haven't been on our site. I'm sorry.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you.
Is there anybody else who wishes to address council? There's a gentleman here. Hi, Bill. Good evening.
My name is Bill Murphy. I'm from the Town Bank area.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Mayor and Council, I had written you all individual letters, including you, Mike, regarding the sidewalk project. I just found out that, the grant has not been
Correct.
correct. Okay.
There's a public meeting on the 31st.
Okay, that kind of answers my question. I wanted to see what the status was. And I know you had already voted 5-0 on this project, but
But we haven't submitted the application.
That was only for the application and go to the county to ask them for the money.
okay.
For open space.
Okay. If approved, and when the funds are approved, are these transferable to some other project?
No.
That's my
No.
question. No. Okay, thank you.
Anybody else? Close the public portion. What's that?
I want to ask one.
All right.
I want to make one statement. Janet Pitts Villas. I know we're talking a lot about Town Bank and North Cape May and everything, but the ecosystem restoration in Middle Township was a conjunction with the ecosystem restoration of 1999 for the villas too.
Right.
It was to include us, and I've been in contact with Dwight Packen from the Army Corps of Engineers at the Philadelphia unit.
Right.
He says to me that the holdup was initially we wouldn't come up with our portion. After that, it was a matter of federal allotment. Well, the federal government is allotting it. So I'm curious how hard we're fighting to get this
Whoa.
ecosystem
I think that,
in the villas.
well, I'm hearing the environmental side is being shortchanged for the shore protection side. That's what we're, and being honest about it, I haven't had dialogue in the past month or so with Army Corps.
At
So-
Philadelphia.
No, I haven't, well, they're all kind of out of Philadelphia when it comes down to that. Who was specifically you're talking to?
Dwight Packen.
I have to look at my notes and see if I...
P-A-K-A-N.
I don't know.
That's all right. I'll email them, find out.
Yeah, I mean, we, again, like I said, as far as this goes, we partnered up with Middle on a lot of this.
Yeah, that's
And
why
trying-
I'm curious, because their ecosystem restoration, I mean, we
That was
could-
on the books for a while.
Exactly.
It hasn't been, and our problem was, again, we didn't sign off on that project.
Right, we wouldn't pay for it, and then the feds didn't
And
fund
they
it.
threw
But
us
now
under the
there's all
bus after
kinds
that.
of money with
Right.
Hurricane Sandy and stuff, so I'm thinking, I mean, we need to do something here. We don't have the big dunes like North Cape May. In a lot of places, we have people building bulkheads to their backyard, and houses aren't falling into the bay in the villas. So, you know, hey, I'd just like to get the fair share here if the money's
would too.
available. You've all
We thought it was a
contributed
done
to it
deal,
in your
and then the scissors
paychecks.
came out.
We may as well get it, right?
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you. Anybody else wish to address council? Close the public portion.
Motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Game, set, match.
8:21.